The large-scale operation of IRGC naval and aerospace forces in the 95th wave was carried out this morning using Hajj Qassem, Kheibar Shekan and Qadr missiles. Do not forget, if escalation continues, the entire region will turn into hell for you. U.S. allies come under fierce Iranian fire as new intel lays bare the true cost of this war. Iran's 95th strike wave pounds U.S. allies, leaving parts of Israeli cities shattered and burning. Iran unleashes its Qadr, Kheibar Shekan and Hajj Qassem missiles, tearing through high-value targets across the region. After years in the shadows, is Iran's secret missile arsenal now being fully unleashed on America and Israel? The IRGC's True Promise campaign escalates, with fresh strikes slamming both Israeli and U.S. positions. Iran has now launched the 95th wave of retaliatory strikes, zeroing in on key United States military assets across the region. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has confirmed that both its aerospace and naval forces carried out these operations on April 4th. Officials say the strikes were conducted as part of Operation True Promise 4, a continuing campaign that relies on advanced precision-guided missile systems. According to the IRGC, Iran deployed its Hajj Qassem, Kheibar Shekan and Qadr-class missiles in this latest round of attacks. In the second phase of the 94th wave, a Chinook helicopter preparation center and equipment storage hangars at Al-Udeid base were targeted using a combination of ballistic missiles and drones. The Islamic resistance in Iraq also carried out 19 missile drone operations against U.S. Zionist targets in recent hours. The large-scale operation of IRGC naval and aerospace forces in the 95th wave was carried out this morning using Hajj Qassem, Kheibar Shekan and Qadr missiles. Targets in Bnei Brak, Petah Tikva, Tel Aviv, Ramat Gan and Kiryat Shmona were heavily targeted with multi-warhead Qadr missiles. Targets included U.S. HIMARS systems on Bubiyan Island in Kuwait, a U.S. Patriot system in northern Bahrain, gathering points of U.S. missile operators, gathering points of senior commanders and trainers of the U.S. terrorist army in the UAE, and the U.S. artificial intelligence technology company Oracle in the UAE. A commercial vessel belonging to the Zionist regime and flying a third country flag was also targeted at Khalifa bin Salman port in Bahrain. Do not forget, if escalation continues, the entire region will turn into hell for you. Iran has claimed that its latest round of strikes destroyed several United States command centers and military training facilities located in the United Arab Emirates. In the same statement, Tehran also alleged that sites linked to the American technology giant Oracle Corporation inside the UAE were among the targets hit. Iran further stated that its missile attacks struck multiple locations across Israeli-held territory, using advanced Qadr-class missiles to carry out the operation. Bahrain's Fifth Fleet base was hit, forcing hundreds of U.S. sailors to evacuate. In Bahrain, a U.S. Patriot air defense battery was struck in a precision attack. In Qatar, Iran targeted Al-Udeid air base, damaging several refueling aircraft. Kuwait's Al-Salem air base was hit, crippling key infrastructure and communications. On Bubiyan Island in Kuwait, U.S. HIMARS rocket launchers came under fire. Earlier strikes also hit Kuwait's Camp Buring and Port Shuwaikh facilities. Saudi Arabia's Prince Sultan Air Base has been damaged in repeated attacks. In the UAE, U.S. command centers, radar sites and troop facilities were targeted. UAE sites linked to U.S. tech giant Oracle were also reportedly struck. In Jordan, a radar tied to the THAAD missile defense system was targeted. Kuwait Petroleum Corporation reported that a major fire broke out at its Shuwaikh oil sector complex, raising fresh concerns over energy infrastructure security in the Gulf. Kuwaiti state media also said an Iranian drone struck a government office complex, though no casualties were reported in the incident. According to the Kuwaiti government, Iran additionally targeted key power and desalination plants, causing what officials described as significant damage. At the same time, an Israel-linked commercial vessel was hit while docked at the Khalifa bin Salman port in Bahrain, further heightening tensions in regional waters. This came as the Israel Defense Forces detected a new ballistic missile attack launched from Iran, aimed at southern Israel on April 5. Iran's ongoing strikes on Israeli territory have so far killed more than 24 people and injured over 500, with several civilian areas coming under fire since late February. Hundreds of ballistic missiles have been launched during this period, including intense barrages of up to 90 missiles in a single day. Tehran has claimed that these operations have inflicted major damage on United States defense systems since the war erupted on February 28. U.S. intelligence now assesses that Iran's missile and drone power is far from destroyed, warning that weeks of strikes have not broken its ability to hit back across the region. The assessment says roughly half of Iran's missile launchers are still intact even after weeks of heavy U.S. and Israeli strikes on its military infrastructure. CNN reported this U.S. intelligence warning, citing multiple anonymous sources who described Iran's remaining firepower as a serious ongoing threat. The same assessment says Iran still has thousands of one-way attack drones in its arsenal, giving it plenty of capacity for further waves of strikes. One source warned that Iran is still very much poised to wreak havoc throughout the Middle East, with enough missiles and drones left to sustain the conflict. Roughly half of Iran's missile launchers remain intact despite 5 weeks of U.S.-Israeli strikes. Thousands of one-way attack drones have survived, leaving around 50% of Iran's drone arsenal still in play. A large share of Iran's coastal defense cruise missiles is intact, keeping the Strait of Hormuz under threat. Iran's launchers and cruise missiles have been moved underground into tunnels and caves, complicating U.S. targeting. The IRGC Navy retains roughly half its power, with hundreds, if not thousands, of small boats and unmanned vessels left. An intelligence source says Iran can still wreak absolute havoc throughout the entire region despite heavy losses. The intel report says Iran's military has been degraded and key leaders killed, including Khamenei and security chief Ali Larijani. CENTCOM says U.S. forces have hit more than 12,300 targets inside Iran since the war began, underscoring the scale of the ongoing air and missile campaign. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth says Iranian ballistic missile and kamikaze drone attacks are down about 90%, pointing to what he calls major progress in degrading Iran's strike power. Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell has dismissed reports about Iran's remaining capabilities as completely wrong, insisting Tehran is far weaker than some intelligence leaks suggest. Israeli officials put the share of Iran's remaining operational launchers even lower, estimating that only about 20 to 25% are still able to fire after weeks of strikes. An Iranian political security official said Tehran will gradually increase its missile strikes on U.S. and Israeli targets as the war continues. He added that this escalation is part of a phased strategy that is guiding Iran's broader retaliatory campaign across the region. According to Press TV, missile launches from Iranian territory are expected to intensify steadily over the coming period. The same official said operations by the Axis of Resistance will also expand and roughly double in scope across multiple fronts. Iran's aim, he stressed, is to hit enemy interests on several fronts simultaneously rather than on a single battlefield. Priority targets include U.S. and Israeli radar and air defense systems, which Iran says it is systematically trying to degrade. Iranian officials claim the country now fields a more advanced and more powerful missile arsenal than in past conflicts. They warn this arsenal could deliver unexpected battlefield surprises in terms of range, accuracy, or warhead types. Tehran has reiterated that any strike on Iranian infrastructure will trigger strong and expanding retaliatory responses. Officials also say Iran has the capacity to sustain a prolonged regional conflict and continue its missile and drone operations over time. In parallel, the IRGC's Qatar Al-Anbiya spokesperson also threatened the United States with the existence of deadly hidden missile capabilities. Zolfagari further taunted Trump, claiming U.S. intelligence on Iran's military capabilities was incomplete and underestimated Iran's true strength.